This inert universe is non-different from the infinite consciousness, even as fire reflected in water is non-different from it. Fire reflected in water. There's a relationship between fire or an object and its reflection. They're not the same, but they're clearly not entirely different either. In fact, we look at a reflection in a mirror to get some idea of ourselves or of how we're looking. So there is a connection there, but we can't really say they're different. But we could say that they're different, but they're also non-different. Fire and water are the opposites. Fire can reflect in water. In the same way, what we regard as the physical universe, as materiality, what's described here as inert, inertia, is non-different from the infinite consciousness. Even so, there is no real distinction between knowledge and ignorance. Consciousness has a limiting aspect. It's part and parcel of the mode of experiencing that most of us live within, which can be defined by time and space, notions of time and space. We parcel things up. We identify various forms, various shapes and colours as objects. We build emotional investments or otherwise in these objects. So this is ignorance reflecting in knowledge. There's no real distinction between them. They're non-different, although they're clearly not the same. Since Brahman is endowed with infinite potencies, inertia or unconsciousness manifests in consciousness. The infinite encompasses the finite. Consciousness encompasses unconsciousness. There are different modes of being, some modes more limited than others. There's a particular mode which is to do with time and space. We have lots of different modes that we operate in, lots of ways of responding to reality, perhaps religiously, perhaps mystically, perhaps scientifically, perhaps artistically, perhaps politically, personally, socially, in terms of our roles. There's so many different modes that we can slip into, but they're all finite. What self-inquiry is pointing out to us is that there's more to it than all that. There's more to reality than our finite perception of it. This inertia exists as a potentiality in Brahman, even as future waves and ripples exist on the calm surface of water. Water has no motivation to throw up ripples, nor does Brahman have any motive in creating the world. Hence it is right to say that, in the absence of a valid cause, creation has not taken place. It is but an appearance like the mirage. Brahman alone exists. Brahman is peace and uncreated, nor does Brahman create anything. We're used to talking in terms of creation. Even scientists talk about creation, which always presupposes a creator. It's a difficult one to accept, though. You might accept it intellectually, that the world did not actually come into being. This is what creation means, the world coming into being. It didn't actually come into being. It was created by our own notions, our own ideas, our own percepts. And if you've got a problem with this, compare it with dream reality. Does a dream exist? Or is there only the dreamer? And if there's only the dreamer, then what's the dream? We only refer to a dream, well, we usually refer to a dream after the fact, after we've woken up from it. But when we're caught up in the dream, we're not usually aware that it's a dream, and it's very, very real. Even more real perhaps than our waking reality, because within the dream our emotional nuances are so vivid We can experience things far more vividly in dreams than we do in the waking life. So perhaps if reality is to do with vividness of experience, then dreams are more real than our waking reality. It's our waking reality that consigns dream reality to insignificance. It's only a dream, only a dream. So perhaps from the point of view of Brahman, from the point of view of the realization of the nature of our consciousness as infinite potential, then what we call our waking life is only a dream. It's only waking life. Does the dreamer create something? Creation sounds like a volitional act. I think all we can say is there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on. O celestial, you are that Brahman which is homogeneous and undivided and indivisible like space. You are a knower. Whether you know something or do not, remain free from doubt. This is about remaining in the pure self, remaining in our sense of being at home in it. When you realize that you are the unborn, infinite consciousness, then all ignorance and foolishness cease, and this world appearance ceases. Its pull ceases. We stop getting caught up in it. We stop identifying with its manifestation. Wherever the Supreme Brahman exists, and it is infinite and exists everywhere, there's nowhere it can't be. There arises this world appearance. In a blade of grass, wood, water, and in all things in the universe, the same Brahman, the infinite consciousness, exists. This is why we can be at home wherever we are. It's all consciousness. It seems to vary. Circumstances seem to vary. Our environment seems to vary. It's all arising within infinite consciousness. The nature of Brahman is indescribable and indefinable. In it there is no other, and hence it is incomparable. Hence it is inappropriate even to talk of the nature of Brahman. That which is experienced when this ego sense ceases is the same Brahman which is attained by one in whom the ego sense prevails, when that one inquires into the nature of the ego sense. It thereupon dissolves in consciousness.